I swear this industry gets stranger by the second, and what I'm about to lay out is straight from the kind of Hollywood saga that twists and turns for years before the truth forces its way into the light. An explosive story involving Selena Gomez, Taylor Swift, and Blake Lively that's pulling back the curtain on a decade of friendship, suspicion, and scandal. Beginning with a warning that at the time passed quietly between two friends but now echoes louder than ever, because years ago Selena, noticing something unsettling about Blake's sudden closeness to Taylor, allegedly pulled her aside and told her to be careful, a warning that, whether born of intuition or unspoken knowledge, has taken on a chilling new weight as Blake's name now dominates headlines tied to a lawsuit scandal that's messy, public, and impossible to ignore. With severe accusations of sexual harassment and leaked text messages where she allegedly referred to Taylor and Ryan Reynolds as her dragons, hinting at the use of their fame and influence as leverage, an image that makes those old whispers look like a prophecy waiting to come true, because according to multiple insiders, Selena spotted the signs early, observing the way Blake entered Taylor's world and clung to her with a precision that felt strategic, saying it was calculated rather than casual. And while these comments from behind closed doors never hit the public until now, they've set the stage for a fiery division among fans. One group, quick to crown Selena as the friend who saw danger before anyone else, another just as fast to accuse her of being manipulative and fueled by jealousy, some even claiming this behavior is nothing new for her, flipping the narrative in ways that sting. And in the background, you've got social media cynics throwing shade with comments like "Selena knows a mean girl when she sees one," a dig that lands with extra force given her history and the unspoken subtext of Hollywood's cliquish underbelly. But we can't overlook the way events have exploded alongside the lawsuit Blake is now fighting, a case filed by director Justin Baldoni, whose claims are laid out in court filings that point to a pattern of intimidation where Blake allegedly leaned on her A-list connections to get what she wanted, using Taylor and Ryan's names as symbols of untouchable status, and that "dragons" label is now infamous, woven into a narrative where friendships double as weapons. And when you stack the timeline piece by piece, the picture becomes hard to dismiss. 2015, Blake and Taylor strike up a surprisingly close friendship. 2017, Selena reportedly voices her private warning. 2020, Blake names Taylor godmother to her third child, an act then seen as a gesture of unshakable trust. 2024, Blake's legal troubles explode into public view, making people dig up every moment from the years before, and while Selena stayed silent through most of it, that earlier cautionary note now feels like the first clue to a much larger puzzle, especially as Taylor herself gets pulled toward the legal crossfire, with experts saying she might be subpoenaed, forced under oath to answer whether Blake's friendship with her played any role in the alleged intimidation tactics, an intense prospect that would put anyone in a near impossible position, torn between personal loyalty and the straightforward truth. And the thought of Taylor on the witness stand is its own kind of pressure cooker. Flashes from photographers, every word poured over, reaction shots dissected, the weight of Hollywood's most glittering circle suddenly measured in legal stakes, and that's where we find ourselves now, staring down the months until the March 2026 trial, but already living inside the storm brewing ahead of it, with public opinion split, sides being chosen like teams in a silent war. Team Selena, who believe she was protecting her friend from the beginning, and Team Blake, who argue that loyalty and friendship can withstand scandal, while thousands more watch like an audience to a long-running series, prepared for a season finale that hasn't yet arrived. And in this theater of headlines, each leak is a spark, texts, stories, old quotes unearthed and examined like evidence in an open case, and each edition reshapes the storyline, turning the godmother honor from a badge of closeness into something potentially more layered, even calculated, fitting the old pattern Selena hinted at. And from there you can feel the drama thickening, because in Hollywood, friendships don't just exist, they serve purposes. They're projected in carefully curated images and photos, each public smile potentially hiding private games. So when Selena leaned in to say, "Be careful," it wasn't just casual talk between friends, it was a seed planted, one that's only now grown into a tangled tree casting shadows over everything around it. But whatever her reason, her words have lingered, perhaps even replayed in Taylor's memory as each chapter with Blake unfolded, more so now that Taylor's name is written into legal documents and legal commentators are speculating about cross-examination questions that might dig into texts, dinners, and casual conversations from years back, leaving nothing off limits. And if you've been near social media, you know the speculation is relentless. Screenshots of old Taylor Blake outings, speculation about body language, debates about whether connection was mutual or one-sided, all of it feeding an already ravenous gossip cycle. Meanwhile, Selena herself hasn't stepped forward with any kind of statement, her team holding firm in silence while the chatter grows, which in its own way may be more powerful than speaking out, because silence leaves space for imagination, and imagination in a scandal can be just as potent as facts, perhaps even more dangerous. So picture what happens next. Court dates bringing new witnesses, perhaps even famous ones, cross-examinations digging deep into alliances and motivations, the possibility of private correspondence hitting the public record, and every player in this story forced to navigate the fallout not just in the eyes of the law but in the world of Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, where reputations can shift in minutes. And as we look ahead to March 2026, you can feel the countdown not in calendar days but in the tightness of that ticking atmosphere, a sense that something bigger still waits to emerge, maybe from behind the closed doors of lawyers' offices or maybe in some yet-to-leak document that will flip the whole game, making today's debates feel like teasers. So whatever team you're on, the fact is this: Selena's whispered words from years ago have now become part of one of the decade's loudest friendship dramas. Blake's legal battle widens by the week, and Taylor stands at the intersection of loyalty, truth, and survival in the entertainment industry's most elite circle. So if you think we've reached the peak, don't bet on it. Because with the way this is unfolding, every twist feels like it's leading to an even bigger one. Subscribe now so you don't miss when the next headline drops, because if this first act has been a storm, the real lightning strike may be just about to hit when the trial doors finally open and every hidden detail is dragged into the light for all to see.